Week is over. Outclassed in our own building. Welcome to the Looney Bin, a podcast dedicated to expanding Minnesota United fandom one newbie or Loonlet at a time. I'm your host, fully grown loon, Dan Elias.
And I'm the Loonlet, Matt Leaf.
On today's episode, we'll talk about that wake-up call at home against the suddenly elite Whitecaps. It's off to Austin to play the defensively sound Verde and Black. And we'll check in on our undefeated second team. But first, Matt, rumor has it you've gone electric.
I have indeed.
With your lawnmower.
I have indeed. We've made the switch now.
What did you get?
I went with the Toro 60 volt.
Is this like a matching the battery with the other thing,
Absolutely.
The other electric stuff you had?
It's just been building over the years. The small engine things have been switching over to Toro, and I had to bite the bullet because, as you remember last summer,
yes,
I was fighting with my lawnmower quite a bit.
You had lost pieces and you were trying to put it together.
I thought I put it all back
together by hand.
Missed a piece, thought it wasn't going to be a big deal. Turns out I needed it.
And you haven't used it yet, so You'll give us a review when you do?
I did use it for a few feet.
Oh, just to get it going.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
All right,
pretty sweet.
Nice.
I'm not regretting it so far.
Your neighbors probably will thank you.
They don't care.
A little quieter.
Yeah, maybe.
Less emissions.
Less emissions for sure, and no more oil changes for me.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Yep.
All right, first segment.
Journalistic integrity and loose threads.
All right. Last episode, you were talking about the Whitecaps, and you thought, isn't that the little chocolate with white sprinkles? I looked it up. Those are the snow caps.
Snow caps.
Yes. Not the Whitecaps. So snow caps are a chocolate. Whitecaps are a team that just destroyed us at Allianz.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Already, Dan.
I
wasn't even ready for that one.
It's
I was
early.
getting prepared for getting into the talk, but all right.
Sorry. All right. Another loose thread here, or actually journalistic integrity. So I caught you saying about the ref last week throwing flags instead of giving yellow cards. You were like in the first half, he was just throwing flags all over the place.
I was hoping you didn't catch that. I caught that in the replay when I was listening to it. I was like, oh, what was that?
I definitely heard it when you said it and didn't correct you in the moment, but I felt like I had to come back to that one.
Absolutely. Thank you for circling back. For
okay.
Sure.
Another journalistic integrity. The referee last week, Abdu Ndai, I said it was his second match. It turns out it was his third match.
Oh, third match. That's a big difference.
This is very important for our listeners to know.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Loon or Loonlet trivia. We have 5 questions for Loonlet Matt. He is new to soccer, new to Minnesota United. And you've been doing pretty good this year. Over the 50% mark.
Not too shabby. Yeah.
Consistent lately. 53.6 to be exact, 37 for 69. I think you had 4 correct last week.
Yeah. Was it 3 or 4? 4.
I think it was 4 coming off of the 5 for 5. So,
yeah.
You ready to get into question number 1? How are you feeling today?
I'm recovering. Yeah, we'll see.
We're recovering from the game we watched today.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Sunday night. It's fresh. Instant reaction.
Fresh reaction. Still raw, baby.
Very raw.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get into question number 1 of Loon or Loonlet. Potential new Loon, Julian Gressel, made his professional debut with the team that joined MLS alongside Minnesota in 2017. What team did Gressel first play for? LAFC, FC Cincinnati, or Atlanta United?
Well, I do remember being compared to another team when we were launching at the same time.
And who was it?
I can't freaking remember for the life of me.
Well, then you got a 1 in 3 shot. Did we join with LAFC?
Well, that was the
Did
first one.
Did we join with FC Cincinnati? Okay, sorry.
Thank you. That was very helpful. It's not FC Cincinnati, which is probably the right answer. But I believe we've been compared to Atlanta the whole time. But This is a tough one.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to go with C, Atlanta United.
Final.
He shoots, he scores.
Yes.
Nice. 1 for 1.
Dug in the archives.
Way to talk your way through this.
Yeah.
Way to talk your way through that one. Okay, let's move to question number 2. This is, again, multiple choice. Austin FC's head coach, Nico Estevez, is in his first year with the team after being let go by Austin's rivals. What team did Nico Estevez coach for in 2024? The Houston Dynamo, FC Dallas, or the Texas Outlaws? Which is a soccer team.
Not an MLS.
No.
Okay. All right. Good. Walker, Texas Ranger. I believe he was he with the Dynamo? Son of a gun. Remember this controversy too? See, another one I have to dig deep in the archives.
Well, you only have 2 to choose from this time because I think you've rightly gotten rid of the Texas Outlaws.
Right. Ah, gosh, I'm leaning towards FC Dallas. I'm gonna go with B. Final answer. Lock it in and rip the knob off.
He shoots, he scores.
Nice. 2 for 2.
Yes.
Yeah, the gut is treating you well right now. All right, let's see if you can keep it going with question number 3 of Loon or Loonlet trivia. This is multiple choice again.
All right.
Austin FC plays in a stadium that opened in 2021 in their first season in MLS. What is the name of their stadium?
Not this shit again.
I know. Here we go. Is it P1 Stadium, Q2 Stadium, R3 Stadium, or S4 Stadium?
Are you kidding me?
It is one of those.
Well, I'm P1, Q2, S4. Like none of those even ring a bell as a company to me.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We're just gonna have to leave it up to the
Soccer
powers that be inside whatever. It's hard to even guess. I mean, C, R3 Stadium.
Final.
Yeah.
Not even close.
It's Q2. I think it's like a data company of some kind.
Fascinating.
Yeah, super fascinating.
Great.
Q2 Stadium is where the Loons are heading next weekend. All right, another question about Austin here. Question number 4, multiple choice again. As part of the Austin FC ownership group led by Anthony Precourt, which Texas-born actor or actress is a part owner and self-proclaimed minister of culture for the team? Is it Woody Harrelson, Eva Longoria, Matthew McConaughey, or Owen Wilson?
The Austin, well,
part of the ownership group.
I feel like Owen Wilson is from Austin. He's kind of that weird Austin.
All 4 of these actors are from Texas.
Oh, shut the front door.
Yep. Who is the self-proclaimed minister of culture for Austin FC?
I feel like the only person that would be like that, I don't know, self-absorbed to do it would be C, Matthew McConaughey.
Is that your answer?
That's my answer.
And it's final.
C. Correct.
He shoots,
yes.
he scores.
Right?
Nice. Yeah, you honed in on that.
I mean, once you pointed out that they're all from Texas, I'm like, well,
there you go.
Woody Harrelson doesn't give a shit about anything enough to do that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. Nice. 3 for 4.
Ooh.
Question number 5. This is sort of a little bit of an interesting one for you, Loonlet Matt.
Okay.
Multiple choice.
All right. We'll see why it's interesting in a minute.
With their first round pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the team that used to be your number 1 team, the Green Bay Packers, selected what player? Matthew Golden, Matthew Silver, Matthew Copper, or Matthew Stone? And actually, here's the thing. If you get this wrong, you get it right.
Why do you say that?
Because then the evolution of you becoming a Loons fan and not paying attention to the NFL, it's complete.
Okay.
It's complete. So if you get this right, you get it wrong.
I'm going to go with D, Matt Stone. Final answer.
Not even close.
Which means you got it wrong, which means...
He shoots, he scores.
Way to go, Loonlet Matt. I was hoping you didn't know who they drafted.
I had no idea. I honestly didn't even check the online nothing about
Matthew
it.
Golden. I think they drafted a receiver in the first round for like the first time in 20-some years.
Yeah.
So I wondered if it made it across your ticker.
Not a bit.
Way to go.
Not a bit.
So you're not following the Green Bay Packers. It's all Loons for you.
All Loons. Honestly, I still get some Packer stuff in there, and I probably did see. I'm too far away from my microphone.
Maybe a little.
I did probably even see it come through the feed still because they're still there, but I didn't pay attention enough to it. But
nice.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
There you go. So I'm going to go with 4 for 5. It's a weird wrong is right sort of thing today. But let's do some quick hits around the team, around the league. CONCACAF Champions Cup, a quick update here. So the first legs were played this week. Tigres and Cruz Azul, it's 1-1, heading to the second leg on Thursday night. And then in the Vancouver-Miami game, Vancouver wins 2-0 at home. It's a Brian White goal in the first half, a Sebastian Bierhalter goal in the 85th minute. This was Miami flying 8 hours from Miami to Vancouver, the furthest you can possibly travel. And now Vancouver, I wonder if they're going to head straight southeast to Miami, to Florida.
From here?
Because they play Wednesday. So they play in 3 days.
It's that close. Yeah, I bet they're going right to...
They might just head right there. So it was really only 2 shots on goal for Miami. And this is like a little bit of a masterclass from Vancouver, again, against a really skilled team. Matt, do you regret not staying up late with me to watch this 2-0 Vancouver win?
I kind of do.
Yeah?
I kind of do.
All right.
But
you kind of don't at the same time.
At the same time. Like, I'm okay.
You're okay.
It would have been cool to see.
Maybe we should watch the second leg on Wednesday. I don't know what time it'll be on.
Yeah.
I'd have to come here because you're...
when Trisha's coming back, too.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the second team, the Twoonies. They stay undefeated. So they actually had 7 first-team players in the starting lineup. So this was, I think, on Friday. It's Loic, Shashua, Ho Yoon, Markinick, Padelford, Duggan, and Taylor all start in this game. And I think a little bit of the thinking here is to make sure these guys are fit. They may be playing more minutes, especially in like the U.S. Open Cup when we start to have more fixture congestion.
Didn't we see Musanvi today?
We did. He was that was a few days ago.
Wow.
So Loic played in that game. We also saw DJ Taylor, Shashua, and Ho Yoon. So 4 of these guys did sub in the Minnesota United game today.
Wow.
Wow. But Loic and Shashua scored goals. Kane Rizvanovic had 5 saves and a clean sheet in Colorado, the 17-year-old goalie.
Yeah.
It's his professional debut, and we are 4-0-0 all games on the road. Pretty good for the Toonies.
Congratulate. Send some of them up.
Send some of them. We might need some of that energy.
Shuffle the deck.
Right.
Sorry, a lot of energy I'm bringing from the game today. Sorry.
There's next game is at home. It's on Friday. It's a weird start time. It's 3:00 on a Friday. Like, who can go to that game, Loonlet? Like, why 3:00? Why not 5? Why not 7?
Even 5 is pushing it for a Friday,
right?
But I mean, is there something else going on that would bump it, or is it just Apple being Apple?
I don't think this is an Apple thing. I think this is more like host venue choosing the site. Maybe there's another event at the National Sports Center, but I think they pretty much have the run of the place.
Maybe Travis Tritt is in town. That would explain everything. I don't know why that was the first traveling artist to pop in my head, but I don't know. Maybe. Weird time.
I was thinking about going to this game, but I literally have to take my kids out of school early to go watch the Twoonies. And they're playing North Texas, which won MLS Next Pro, like the title last year.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how they do at home, and we'll report back.
Did I reply to your text about that, by the way?
I do not know.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
I remember getting
either.
the text, but I can't remember.
I was like, Matt, should we take our kids out of school and go drive to Blaine? But,
okay. Oh, you were inviting me? Then no, hard pass.
Okay. All right. Let's just talk about a little bit of news that came out of the team this week. They sort of promoted some youth development improvements that they're looking to sort of to bring forward outside of the academy structure. So they announced this new free of cost youth development programming. And they say there's 3 pillars, Loonlet. There's an alliance program. So clubs and organizations will have sort of access to information sharing with the team around maybe strategies, practices, drills, sort of developmental tools that they'll be giving to Minnesota clubs and organizations at no cost.
So like sharing the information with Bloomington United.
For sure.
For whatever.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
They're going to have some free clinics. And then they're also doing this thing called the Coaches Symposium. They're going to have sort of like a day-long symposium. Keynote speaker, Khalid El-Ahmad, Eric Ramsey Q&A, and you get to observe a first team training session. And really anyone can sign up, but obviously like coaches, people around youth soccer. So as a former U9 soccer team manager, Loonlet, and as I'm a former assistant coach, should we sign up and go to this symposium?
You know what? I think we just got to get those press credentials, and then we can go there as press.
Okay, that'd be easier.
More important, more impactful.
But it's also just free for anyone. Anyone can sign up for this.
That's pretty cool, though. That's nice of them.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Only other news here before we talk about this Vancouver game. It seems like we did sort of make a move here at the deadline at the end of the winter transfer window. So news starts to come out basically on deadline day that Julian Gressel to Minnesota United has a little bit of steam. Julian Gressel is a 31-year-old player, was playing with Inter Miami. He's played, I think, for like 4 or 5 MLS teams now.
Okay.
But he's on $1 million salary with Miami. So the news hasn't broken yet. And actually, right before we started recording, some reporting started to come out that seemed to indicate that it is looming. Like we should get an announcement early this week.
Oh, that's really...
So I think what had to happen, because he's on $1 million, and one of the reasons he hadn't been traded yet, because Inter Miami hasn't been playing him. He's been getting 0 minutes for them, like literally 0. It's like too much salary for most teams to take on when he's not going to be one of your top 5 players, right?
Right.
He's sort of a middle of the roster depth piece, but he could slot into the starting position at right wing back or in the midfield for the Loons, but not $1 million player.
Right.
So he is very likely being cut with a buyout from Miami and then going through a waiver process. And no one's probably going to claim him because no one wants to take on the $1 million. And then we're just going to sign a new contract with him, and he'll be basically a free agent that we could sign outside of the window.
So why doesn't, when Miami's going to buy him out, why aren't they paying down because the contract still exists that he'd be $1 million player. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it goes through the waiver process. And if someone says they claim him, they take on the contract.
Right.
They take on the whole contract.
I keep forgetting that the contract. Yeah.
It's like probably, prorated with like the amount of time that's passed, but the teams would still have to take him on. So he's, a good high quality MLS player, excellent crosser from the right side. He was actually drafted in the Loons first super draft. He was drafted 8th by Atlanta United. So he played with them. He's won a US Open Cup, an MLS Cup, a Supporter Shield. He was with the Columbus Crew in 2023 when they won the MLS Cup. So he's sort of one of those winners that keeps showing up on these really quality teams. 26 goals and 65 assists. So throughout 245 total MLS games. So he has some production. So I just, he's a right wing back, sort of midfield hybrid, could play in the Bongi position, could also maybe push load for minutes potentially at that midfield spot.
But you don't think he's a starter?
I think it depends on really why they're bringing him. I wanted to ask you, are you just excited that they brought in another player to sort of shake up this roster a little bit?
Yeah, I think we've been looking for a midfielder, right? We need something like
They really need a center of the field, sort of control the pace of the game midfielder. That's not really who Julian Gressel is. He's sort of a hybrid midfield winger.
Yeah.
Sort of more like in the Robin Lode, like out on the sides.
That's why I'm so surprised that we're having this much conversation about this type of player. I mean, I'm assuming that they know something I don't know, but
he's also very possibly, this could be the end of the Bongi at right wing back experiment. It might be time to get Bongi further up the field, and he would be a player that when they got the ball, they might be able to hold possession a little better than Bongi.
Got it.
And when he has it on that right side, he has really great service into the box for Tanny, for Yeboah. So I'm not saying he's a locked in starting 11 player, but I do think if they wanted to think of him as the new right wing back and get Bongi further up the field, they could be penciling him in their minds in that position.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
Shake things up.
Shake it up.
All right, let's go into what's making us feel like a lunatic. We do have a fan submission, so we'll start with that one first.
Hi, this is Trisha.
Oh,
what
Jesus.
makes me a lunatic is when all of the people in my family leave their socks wherever they please. This includes outside, in the garden,
I left it
in the basement, or if you're Matt, it might be under an ottoman, by a chair. Kind of like an Easter egg hunt for mom, but it occurs every single week.
That was Matt's Trisha complaining about Matt. I love that I have that audio. And you just were whispering during that. You were like, I just left some socks somewhere. Where did you leave socks, Matt?
Under the ottoman by the chair, the one she specifically mentioned.
Why?
I think my shoes got wet, and I don't know. I took them off, and then I forgot about it. And
this is one of the things that makes me feel like a lunatic too, because my kids leave their socks everywhere, and I'm like, okay, then you see your socks, then you pick up your socks, then you bring your socks back to your room.
I will say the kids are way worse than I am with that, but yes, she does have a point.
She does have a point.
Gosh, you're so smooth with its recordings.
All right, what's making you feel like a lunatic these days?
All right. I was just at Home Depot.
Okay.
And I was purchasing some bulk stuff for outside, soil and seeds.
Okay.
My gripe is the unit pricing, trying to figure out between each one of them how much they cost compared to each other, the unit cost.
Yeah.
Okay. I took some notes, Dan.
Okay, let's see.
For soil. $8.97 for 32 dry quarts.
Okay.
$9.97 for 1.5 cubic feet.
Yeah.
$8.97 for 40 quarts.
So yeah, is quarts?
I have no idea.
Still volume though, right?
Yeah.
So you're having to do some conversions.
Multiple conversions.
Yeah.
And how do you compare 40 quarts to, oh my God. I was just so angry.
So you don't know which one's a better deal.
Grass seed. $44.97 for 5.6 pounds.
Okay.
$26.97 for 7 pounds.
Okay.
$15.98 for 3 pounds.
Yeah, it's complex mathematics over there.
Like, oh my gosh. And I was beyond annoyed.
Yeah.
When I finally just ended up grabbing some and throwing it on whatever. Anyway, what is making you a lunatic, Dan?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. I told you this one earlier today, and I sort of said I wasn't going to use it, but I sort of feel like I have to use it.
Okay.
So imagine yourself in a nice restaurant and you order like guacamole or like cheese, like queso or something, and you eat it down. Everyone's eating it down, but you're like sort of out of chips, but there's still some good stuff in that bowl, right? There's still some good stuff. And so at home, you take the pinky and you swirl it around the bowl and you make sure none of that delicious stuff goes down the drain.
That's where the best cheese is too.
That's where the best cheese is, like crispy stuff around the edges. But in your nice restaurant, you can't.
They frown upon that.
They frown upon it, and then you just have to say goodbye to just this like beautiful deliciousness, right? It's so sad. It's one of the saddest parts of eating in a nice restaurant.
I completely identify with that feeling. I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Well, let's have that take us into this home game against the Vancouver Whitecaps. It's a 3-1 loss. It's actually our second consecutive home 3-1 loss to Vancouver. They beat us 3-1 on the 4th of July of 2024.
Can I just say off the bat, piss poor performance today.
It was a poor performance. It's true.
Piss poor.
And let's talk about it. But let's talk about a little positive here. thanks to our friends Hal and Katrina
Oh.
for bringing us to the game. They invited us. They have beautiful seats, beautiful
Wonderful
view.
seats.
And we got to sit with our friends Hal and Katrina and enjoy this game. Thank you for inviting us.
It was it made the game bearable.
Yeah,
Because I probably
Yeah.
would have bailed if I was like sitting in the sun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only change to our starting 11 is that Harvey's back in at the right center back position and Diaz to the bench. Otherwise, it's consistent from the last two draws. And Vancouver, we were expecting them to rotate. They do rotate. So center back Tristan Blackman, Sebastian Berhalter, their midfielder, Pedro Vite, Brian White, Ali Ahmed, Andres Cubas. These are some of the guys that have basically got them to where they are at the top of the supporter shield standings. And up 2-0 on Miami in the semifinal for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They are on the bench, and in Andres Cubas's position, he didn't even dress for the game. So it felt again like an opportunity for a aggressive, proactive, take advantage of the moment game for Minnesota United at home against depleted Vancouver. And the notes I have for the first half: disjointed, clunky. The fans decided to take it out on Takeoka, their goalie, for like laying down. He got knocked by Tanny. It was like we were all out of sorts.
We
were booing the wrong person.
We were booing the wrong person, and there was just like a missing energy from the stadium. I'm not into that, whatever, but it definitely felt like it was quiet a lot. And the supporters section was doing the best they could, and they were trying to pull it, but there was no response from the crowd at all.
And they announced the crowd at over 18,000. I think it was probably slightly less than that.
Oh my gosh!
The Timberwolves playoff game at home was probably a factor. I don't think the Twins game was a factor.
It was non-issue, but it was. I think the move to a Sunday too. It was a different.
The move to Sunday, and instead of it being a Saturday night at 7:30, when this game probably would have been rocking, it was a little bit subdued, sort of that daytime, not enough time to really get lathered up for the game.
But also, it just seemed like the guys were out there today, and it was as if they'd never played together before. They were just on different wavelengths.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, because often when the team is up for it, then the crowd will follow when we're sort of in a lackadaisical sort of setting. But we weren't ready to lead them there.
No.
And they weren't really ready to lead us there either. So just jumping to the second half, these 3 goals by Vancouver are just champagne football, beautiful goals. Sebastian Berhalter's goal.
That much harder, right? That they were just all that good. Ugh.
I mean, they scored 3 goals in 15 minutes, and we had scored 0 goals across 260 minutes, I think I had written down, with our 2 shutouts. Or being shut out twice at Toronto and at home against Dallas. So, I think it's sort of a props to Vancouver moment. Like, not a lot of people saw this coming with this new coach and with the pieces that they had on the team.
Yeah.
The Berhalter goal, it's beautiful. The Pedro Vite first goal, it's beautiful. Pedro Vite's second goal, again, it's beautiful. You can probably rewatch those, and I didn't get to rewatch a lot of this game.
Oh no,
because it just happened. Because it just happened a few hours ago. So I'm sure it seemed like on the third goal, Robin Lode lost track of his runner on the right side of the box.
Yeah. And I had noticed in the first half, even there were several times where I thought that Lode had given up on his pursuit quickly and was just kind of almost flat-footed a lot.
Yeah.
And then it burned us in the second half for sure.
Yep. So it's down 3-0. It sort of feels like it's over with that third goal.
Yeah.
Because we're,
for sure.
I mean, especially since we haven't really been creating that many chances in this game or the last 2 overall.
Yeah.
We get a goal back. It's Will Trapp. He scores back-to-back goals for us because he scored the second goal at NYCFC.
Oh,
remember the one that the goalie got his foot on, but it sort of popped into the roof of the goal?
Oh, my God.
So
gosh,
between that goal and this goal, 260 some minutes, and it's both Will Trapp goals. Like, where are our other goal scorers? Will Trapp is not supposed to be our goal scorer.
Yeah.
Then we move to the end of the game. Unfortunately, we do have to talk about what seem to have occurred on the field at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So Emmanuel Sabi from Vancouver appeared to be very upset with Joseph Rosales. It's one of those moments where it feels like something was said,
Mhm.
and Drew Fisher's doing his best to sort it out. He brings the captains together, then he brings the coaches together, talking it out. After the game, all the reporting is saying that there is an accusation that a racial slur was
Mhm.
used by Rosales against Emmanuel Sabi. And so we hope that's not the case. Obviously, if it is the case, we hope that the league does their proper investigation and that Joseph Rosales is going to be suspended for some amount of games potentially if it's
Yep.
corroborated. If it's not corroborated, who knows? But hopefully it's a misunderstanding. We're
Yeah.
probably never really going to know, just like the Franco Fragapane situation with Diego Chara
Mhm.
back in Portland. We never really knew exactly what happened, and we probably won't hear, but it's not a great look for
No.
Rosales.
What concerned me, though, was that the team released a statement.
Well, our team had to, right?
Quickly?
Yeah. I mean, when the league's going to start an investigation, it was just 3 sentences.
Oh, I know that, but I mean, I guess to me, I would think that that's an indication that there's some teeth to the accusation, but I don't know.
My guess is that the people who wrote that have no idea themselves. It's just a statement because the team has to put a statement out when there's going to be an investigation.
Yeah, true. True.
We'll obviously follow up on that, but it is the Loons' first loss since February. I mean, that first game of the year in LAFC was in February. Vancouver stays on an absolute tear.
They were an impressive team. They really were. I mean, they were clicking. They knew where to be. They knew where each other was going to be, or the players
second
are going to
balls,
be.
Right? It's the second balls. It's the quick interplay that they are able to work to their own players and have that positional awareness that is really impressive.
Right.
They have a plus 13 goal differential in league play this year. The next closest in the West is Portland at plus 3.
Holy smokes.
So they are really, like, as of now, the only sort of quote unquote elite team in the Western Conference right now.
Mhm.
Everyone else has like a goal differential of basically even or way below.
Okay.
So Vancouver's doing their thing. So when this game ended, Matt, what were your initial thoughts?
It was just, I wanted it to be over in it was one of the strangest games of soccer I think I've seen, just in the whole vibe, the number of injuries and time wasted.
A lot of whistles. Mm-hmm.
And it was just strange. Everything was strange except for Hal and Katrina. That, again, was the only saving grace for me of this game, was being able to hang out with those two.
And the beautiful seats. And right. Yeah. Okay, so after the game, this is what Coach Ramsey had to say.
That's for sure one of the worst days we've had here since I've been here, for lack of energy, lack of spark, lack of intensity, both with and without the ball. And I think it's maybe a strange thing to say, but we lost that game in the first half for not using the possession, the territory, I'm loath to use the word dominance because it didn't feel like we were particularly dominant, but we certainly could have been dominant if we'd used the ball well. And
could have been dominant in that first half if we'd have used the ball well, Loonlet. Thoughts on those comments?
Insightful as always from Eric Ramsey.
Yeah, I mean, it really was one of the worst sort of home performances.
I'm amazed at how his words kind of echoed our whole sentiment as well. Like some of the same things we were saying were right there in his statement. I thought that's pretty taking ownership of it, right?
Yeah. And it's a question about then obviously
what are you
what's the team going to do about it?
Right.
What's Coach Ramsey going to do about it? So let's talk things we didn't like in this game. Let's start with the negative. You want to go first?
It was just seemed very slow, very
I used the word sluggish.
Sluggish. Yeah, slow and sluggish and just
Do you think the players were disappointed they couldn't be at the playoff game? So there was sort of reported that, and I think I saw on social media, Lode, Boxall, Tanny, Shashua, Dane, a bunch of the players were at the playoff game. They enjoy going to NBA games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think game 1 was at the same time as their game. And now game 4 was at the same time. You think they wish they could have been at Target Field instead of Target Center instead of playing on the field?
I think that's got to be it. I think we need to investigate that a little bit more.
Yeah. You know, the offensive precision on this team, it's just almost gone. Like from the moment that Tanny scored the goal at NYCFC in that second or third minute goal that we had. We haven't seen like a team move like that
Nope.
in basically 4 full games now. So it's clunky. 260 minutes scoreless. I've already said that. It's our first home loss of the year. And even Bongi and Songbin are arguing with each other. That's when you know it's bad.
There's trouble in paradise.
Bongi made a pass to Songbin behind him, and Songbin's pointing in front of him, and they're like throwing their hands at each other. It's like, that's when you know it's bad. And then obviously the messiness at the end, the accusation of the racial slur, that is just stuff we don't want to we don't want to be talking about it, and we obviously don't want people to be using racial slurs against other people if that is indeed what happened. So things, especially our team, I mean, I guess probably whether it's our team or any team, dislike it the same amount. Things we liked in this game. Let's try to find some nuggets of joy.
Well, I mentioned we saw Loic Masanvi. Sorry. It was kind of cool to see him back on the field.
His season debut.
Yep, that was nice to see him.
We got to see Ho Yoon in his MLS debut, and not a ton to take from the game. He had a little bit of spark out there.
He did. I mean, he had a couple of quick passes. Looked like he was right on. He didn't have a lot of jitters or anything, but I'm sure it was just good for him to see. Good to see him get his foot on the ball out in the field a little bit and get some game time.
For sure. Confidence builder.
Yeah.
I sort of like this MNUFC admin on social media. No man of the match. I appreciate the honesty, right?
Yeah.
It's like you could give the man of the match to, I don't know, pick a player who didn't suck off, like didn't play totally poorly. And in this case, they're just like, no, we're just going to give our money to a charity and no man of the match.
Sorry, guys.
So we're still stuck on 16 points here. Depending on the results of the game that's happening right now, we're either in third or fourth place. But I think there's actually 4 other Western Conference teams on 16 points right now. So
we're not out of the chase.
No, we're sort of like in the messy upper middle.
Yeah.
So this game's over. Can we turn this into a positive for the team? Is this a wake-up call, Loonlet? Like an opportunity to be like, okay, like a little splash some cold water on our faces. Let's get back to work.
I think that was my answer to my question. Your question.
Did I answer my own question?
You answered your own question.
Do you want to restate it again for our listeners?
But, I mean, in all seriousness, I think you're exactly right that we needed to have some sort of blow up like this at home, maybe, in order to start building again or to get their act together. I don't know what it is, but the offense we saw today was not an offense that's going to give you a winning season.
No.
So they better get their act together.
Right. I think the 0-0 draws potentially papered over a little bit of the issues, because you're like, okay, we're still getting points even when we're not playing our best.
Yeah.
But then when a depleted, sort of reduced Vancouver Whitecaps comes into our building and thoroughly outplays us, I think it's sort of like, okay, it's also a little bit of a measuring stick. I think it's fairly clear that Minnesota is not an upper echelon team at the moment.
Right.
And that we have quite a bit of work to do to get there.
Right. But we're a third of the way in, roughly. So, I mean, there's still a lot of soccer to play, and I hope they can turn it around. But, we don't want to see a lot of infighting, and we're seeing a little bit of that on the field already.
Yeah, I mean, the Bongi,
that's tongue-in-cheek.
That stuff is a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, I know, but it's still,
Yeah, we got to keep the vibes.
Keep the good vibes going, boys.
Some vibes.
Yep.
All right, we had some MN prophecies coming into this game. It's actually our buddy Hal with the first one. He says, the True North elite in the supporters section start chanting, "Ref, you suck," before the match even starts. Drew Fisher actually had a okay reffing game. Oh, were you upset with him?
No, I'm just shocked to hear you. That's
I know.
Very big of you.
It is big of me.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Unfulfilled.
Hal.
Sorry, Hal. Got to do it.
All right. Brandon Hunt writes, Vancouver walks into a target, but they miss.
So it is Mitch Hedberg joke reference.
Yeah, it is Mitch Hedberg. I had to throw it in there because I do love Mitch Hedberg.
I know you do. So what are we saying for unfulfilled? Are we just saying unfulfilled? Or
you got to just get creative.
0.
He shoots, he scores just a bit outside, off the post. Okay, fart sound. Love it. All right. Last MN prophecy. Here we go. Jeff Underbridges writes, fans in the East stands are relieved from holding up their programs to block the sun due to cloud cover as the Loons eclipse 250 scoreless minutes.
Well,
it was cloudy.
It was cloudy.
And we didn't score for 260 score. We had 260 scoreless minutes.
Oh.
What do you think? Fart sound? Okay. Well, I don't even know what that is. There you go.
A small one.
There you go, Jeff. Okay, it's Loonlet Matt's Chaos Corner. What do you have for us today? Oh.
It's a new segment, Dan.
Wow, I want to hear this music for a while. Can we just listen? Turn it up. Yeah, I'm vibing.
There's a new section I'm calling As I'm Aging.
Loonlet Matt living through the years. Let's hear it.
It's just musings that I've learned to accept as I just comfortably settle into my 40s. Okay. 41 now. So
let's hear it.
This is one. You know what? Whenever you're starting a project, just always use the appropriate work glove for the task you're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Because I have hands that look like I'm a carpenter.
Yeah.
Like I'm a blue collar.
Lessons learned.
Don't wear the big bulky ones that are made for like protecting your knuckles in masonry. Just get the thinner pair. I was holding screws, my hands. I have no sore spots on my hands from all the project I did this weekend.
Wow.
This has been the first installment of As I'm Aging with Matt.
That's an amazing new segment. I am so excited for that segment to show up, especially the music. That was beautiful. Okay.
I had to find just the right free clip that fit the vibe, and I think I found it.
That's totally for your 40s.
Yeah.
That's a perfect song for the 40s.
Okay, good.
All right, let's talk about this upcoming game, the Loons' chance at redemption at Austin. It is a Saturday evening game. First question, Matt. What do you know about Austin FC?
I know that those folks in Austin like to keep it weird.
Yep.
Keep it weird in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything about the soccer team? Their coach, Nico
Chavez.
Estevez.
Yes. Yeah. That's the one.
Verde and Black.
That's green and black.
There you go.
See, translate it.
That's probably it. Have we reached the end?
That's the end of it.
All right. Mm-hmm. If you recall, this is actually our second match in the Monarch Path Derby.
Oh my gosh. How did I forget about the Monarch Path Derby?
The I-35 Monarch Path Derby. We have one draw, that one against Sporting Kansas City, the first game of the Derby. Mm-hmm. And so this is a chance to really, put some space between us and our opponents. Mm-hmm. SKC, FC Dallas, and Austin FC in the Monarch Path Derby. Mm-hmm. Again, I keep sort of saying this. We have a very even record against them. 4 wins, 5 losses. Actually, we've never drawn against Austin. We've never had a tie in 9 games against Austin. Last year, we split the series with them. It was each road team that won. We won our season opener at Austin, and they defeated us in June. That was the Drew Fisher double yellow on Hassani Dotson game. Mm-hmm. And they are on 16 points, just like us, but they're on 16 points with a -3 goal differential, which is sort of hard to do. Like second place in the West, and they've given up 10 goals and they've scored 7. So somehow they've lost big and won tight games, and they're on 16 points. They are a good team at home, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, at least so far this year. And they're coming off an 0-2 loss in Houston. So Matt, do you have any fun facts about Austin? We were sort of going to work this in. Do you know anything about the city of Austin that you'd like to share with our listeners? And if you're going to go off the wall, maybe you could even, figure out where you want to take this.
Well, I just, it's a really important fact to our ecosystem, but Austin is the home to the world's largest urban bat colony.
Oh, so Matt's going to go with the fact of, is it fact or fiction with Loonlet? So I'm supposed to guess whether this is.
Oh, you wanted me to intro that? What you're doing? I'm sorry.
I mean, I was trying to intro it, but I didn't do it very well.
No, you didn't at all.
So the idea here is Matt's going to say either something about Austin, the city, or the next opponent, the city of the next opponent. I'm going to try to guess if that's true. So largest bat colony?
The largest urban bat colony population in the world.
Urban bat. Yeah. I'm going to go with true. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Yes,
it is.
All right.
Every summer night, about 1.5 million Mexican free-tailed bats emerge from under the Congress Avenue Bridge in the heart of downtown.
No way. Do they fly over P3 Stadium?
R3,
R2D2, R4 Stadium.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and there's actually a gathering of people that will go and watch them emerge every night.
Interesting. All right. Well, if you make the trip to Austin for this away game, head to that bridge. What is it called?
Charleston
Bridge. You put it away. Okay.
Congress Avenue Bridge.
Players to watch out for Austin. It's Brandon Vasquez. He was bought from Monterey. He actually was in MLS with FC Cincinnati. Came back from Monterey for $10 million. Big, strong forward. And they've got some new signings as well. My knowledge of their new players is probably quite lacking. They have Stuber.
This is why people tune in, Dan. You gotta know these things.
I know. They have a good goalie in Stuber. They've been fairly defensive this year. They've only given up 7 goals across 9 games. So I think that's one of the things. Like if you remove that loss to Vancouver, because they lost 1-5 to Vancouver, it's like an even better defensive record. They will also be getting ready for a U.S. Open Cup game, right? So this game will be right before a midweek match for both Austin and Minnesota. We travel to Louisville City. They will be at home against El Paso Locomotive. So as we travel to Austin, Loonlet Matt, after what we just witnessed today, what do you want to see from our guys? How are you feeling about this upcoming game?
Second question first. I am not feeling good about this game.
Okay.
I think that our
offense, we've lost our mojo.
We've lost our mojo, and they gotta. I don't know what they gotta do. They gotta have some kind of, I don't know, group event. Maybe they gotta do the trust fall or something. Some trust falls. I think is what this calls for.
Yeah.
Anything along those lines, because I need to see an offense that starts clicking. We haven't, like you said, we've talked about it a lot today. We got to see an offense that can produce.
And the defense today against Austin. Honestly, the first half, 0 shots at all for Vancouver. So that's okay for us in the first half. The second half, then that was our defense limiting Vancouver shots.
I thought you were talking
and then they scored those beautiful goals, which are unfortunate. And we, like Coach Ramsey said, we maybe lost it in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
We are a better away team, so I'm hopeful that just being on the road sort of reduces the pressure and maybe they can play sort of free and loose again, but we'll find out. Last segment.
Loon Droppings.
It's the Messi prognosis again. So update on Messi. He plays 90 on turf in Vancouver in that 0-2 loss. They come home, they're playing Dallas. He sits, so he doesn't even dress. So they're resting him for the home leg of the CONCACAF semifinal. He still will have 2 more home games before they travel to Minnesota. How are you feeling about his chances of playing, and or are you just sick that we're even talking about it?
I'm not sick that we're talking about it. We get bigger fish to fry than worry about Messi
at this point.
Right?
Points. Yeah, we need points.
We need a lot of points. We need offense. So yeah.
Loon Droppings.
Okay, Barcelona wins the Copa del Rey against rival Real Madrid. Barcelona beats Real Madrid for the 3rd time this season, so twice in league play, and then in this Copa del Rey tournament, they scored 12 goals across those 3 games, and these are like real rivalry.
Okay.
El Clasico between these teams. It goes back to Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi when they were with these teams, and it goes back long before that as well. Rudiger, the defender for Real Madrid, I think ended up throwing something from the sideline at the referee toward the end of this game. It went to extra time, and so he's going to be out for a bunch of games. But so Matt, it's sort of, at least we haven't lost 3 times to our rival this season. That's positive, right?
Well, you got to have a rival first.
That's true.
Loon Droppings.
You're going to like this one. Teemu Pukki update.
Heyo, Sisu.
From Huiku, Helsinki. And he scores a goal this weekend. It's his first goal back home in Finland.
Heyo.
They had lost their first 3 games of their season so far.
Mm-hmm.
But then today they win 3-1. They get their first win of the year. Pukki scores a penalty kick. He's played 353 minutes across these 4 games. So basically almost every minute of these games. Matt, do you miss Teemu Pukki?
I do miss Teemu Pukki.
Yeah, why do you miss him?
But I'm happy for him, though. I mean, we need some stability on our offense right now.
We don't really need him for the field. You just missed having another Finn on the team.
Yeah, I just miss him. Yeah,
just plain old miss Teemu. He did sign your jersey.
He did. He remembers it.
Loon Droppings.
Okay, last one. I have to tell you, and I missed this last week because this actually happened a week ago in MLS play.
Okay.
Andres Reyes, he gets a red card. He plays for San Diego right now. They lose to Charlotte, but he's given a straight red card for a dog. So he sort of pulls someone down on the outside of the box.
Okay.
So because it's not a penalty kick, it's a red card. He goes to the locker room because his night's done.
Right.
But VAR calls the ref over to the monitor, right? And they take a look at it and they're like, actually, this foul happened inside the box, which means it's a penalty kick and a yellow card, right?
So get back out here.
So then he walks back out and the referee's like, it wasn't a red, it's a yellow, but it's actually your second yellow. So you have to go back to the locker room.
Are you kidding me?
He called him out of the locker room to take away the red, to give him the yellow, and then to give him a red because it was a second yellow. He had to come back onto the field just to be sent back to the locker room for a second time.
I swear to God.
If
the MLS becomes the NFL when it comes to their rules and procedures, I'm going to throat punch somebody.
It's already pretty bad.
It's getting terrible.
I love that the ref
so petty
felt obligated to call him out to officially take away the red, to give him the yellow.
Just give him
then send him to there for it to be the second yellow. I'm sorry. Pretty humiliating. Yeah. All right. I'm assuming you don't have any other loon droppings for us.
Fair assumption.
Guys, this is episode 58, dedicated to the people who pick up other people's socks.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's it for us. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Looney Bin. Feel free to write us at theloonybinpod@gmail.com or connect with us on Blue Sky at Looney Bin Podcast. And as always, come on, you loons!